Welcome back to the Jason Wright Show, where I am starting a brand new segment called the Monday Morning Mentor. This is where I share some of the hard-won, often embarrassing, and hopefully helpful lessons that I picked up over my career and my life. The goal is to help you hedge for success and maybe avoid some of the dumber mistakes that yours truly has made probably more than once. Today's advice is simple, but it's advice that I really, really wish that I had tattooed on my heart way back when, and it was this: never, ever drink at a work event. All right, so let's start it out with this. The price of drinks. All right, so I was just starting out. It was my first big convention. I was 23 years old, and the drinks, well, they were free. 23 and drinks that are free, yikes. After a lot of drinking and mingling and socializing, a few of my colleagues and I decided it would be a brilliant idea to go grab more drinks offsite away from the hotel. While thankfully, and I mean thankfully, no permanent damage was done, I was the one driving. I'd been drinking more than I should, and I got behind the wheel of the car, and it was full of colleagues, including one of the company's vice presidents. Yeah. Fortunately, he never said a word to me about it. But the next morning, it hit me like a bucket of cold water. What the hell must this guy must be thinking of me? What kind of moron would be willing to risk his career, his colleagues' safety, and potentially their lives just to keep the party going? I look back on that night and I thank God nothing bad happened, because I know how easily it could have. Now, here's the deal. The next morning, the after party feeling. Even as my career continued, I'd still occasionally have drinks at work, and even had some happy hours I'd go to, although I'm just not never been a happy hour guy. But after every single one of these outings, I'd wake up the next morning and obsessively replay every conversation I'd had the night before. Did I say something stupid? Did I flirt with someone inappropriately? Did I swear more than usual? Did I accidentally share confidential information that involved people in the company or something? I hated that next day. That nagging anxiety is a tax on your peace of mind, and it's a tax that you absolutely don't have to pay. So I tried to set a rule for myself: no drinking in professional settings. But the rule didn't stick at first. Why? Well, it's kind of weird. Drinking may be the only drug one can decide not to consume that leads everyone else to believe there's something wrong with them. Imagine being offered a big hit of cocaine and saying, "Nah, I'm good," only to have the person go, "Oh, I'm sorry, you don't do cocaine?" No, that would never happen. Yet when someone tells you that, when you tell them that you don't want to drink, then you can almost feel the judgment immediately. It's for some reason, it's they take your not drinking, judging them because they are. And that can just be kind of uncomfortable. You get the proverbial peer pressure too. It's like, oh, come on, one drink. And then one drink almost always leads to another. And a third almost happens reflexively. Before you know it, well, before I knew it, I was in a vice president's hotel room one time, sitting on the toilet, throwing up Guinness Stout in Cincinnati, Ohio. Yep. And then I was using all the towels to mop up the Guinness. Now, Guinness was coming out the way it went in: dark, dark, dark stout all over this white marble floor. And I was using all the towels to mop it up, and I shoved them under the sink. And then I was like, oh my God, what is this dude gonna think when he wakes up in the morning and finds all these Guinness stained puke towels under his sink? Well, eventually I came up with another way of doing this. When someone asked me about having a drink, I would say, no, I have a rule for that. I have a rule that I don't drink on weeknights. Or then I started trying to do stuff like, no, I have a rule where I just don't drink at work events. Or you can also do something like, you can say, I'm not drinking for 90 days. I'm on a 90-day fast. For some reason, people totally respect these types of personal rules and guidelines. In fact, it often to asking you for advice and insight as to what made you decide to do it, and it turns you into the mentor. So here's how I've started to hedge for success in this little non-drinking endeavor. I haven't had a drink in over 8 years now, in a professional setting or any other. I won't even do a toast at a wedding. No, I'm not a recovering alcoholic like my wife once led her grandmother to believe, just because she thought that was funny. No, I decided that there was literally no downside to eliminating alcohol from my diet, but there was plenty of downside to keeping it in. So I said, no, I'm out. The result, well, I never had to worry about what I might say at dinner. I don't let people's rude behavior get to me. Like, kind of alcohol can kind of make you overreact a little bit. I never make an absolute ass of myself, at least not because of the alcohol. And at least the alcohol can't be blamed for that. And I would rather be thought a sober asshole than someone who can't control their liquor. Now, if you're a young person, I want you to really understand something. It's easy to think because so many of you live in the moment that the moment won't follow you for the rest of your life. But it's not true. While having drinks out with coworkers can be a totally innocent activity, it can also lead to unwanted flirting and slip of the tongue about politics that are probably better left unsaid. Or maybe you can just start to become that obnoxious drunk that no one ever wants to be around, and that might cost you a promotion or just might cost you friendships in the workplace. Therefore, I suggest you hedge for success. Just don't drink at work functions. And remember, any function that involves a colleague, a vendor, or anyone that has anything to do with the company that your paycheck originates from, it's a work event. It's a professional environment. Don't drink. I'm Jason, and I'm out. Well, that does it for this episode of the Jason Wright Show. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a Texas Titan Media production. Fourth Wall did the music. And as always, thank you so much for listening. Also, please go out to iTunes. It takes like 30 seconds to just leave us a 5-star rating. It does wonders for the podcast. I would be so grateful. And with that, until we meet again, go crush it and endeavor to improve always in all ways. I'm out.